Hey, beautiful family. I know I have been I have been missing. um, I have been missing for a while. I haven't done any videos or even any posts or anything, and quite a while, in at least a week, over a week actually. Um, I have been sick, and there's been a lot going on. Um, I'm finally feeling better, good enough to actually make a video. I was gonna make one yesterday, but oh, I just, I didn't feel like I really had the energy to do it. So I'm just like, I'll just wait. I'll let my body rest one more day, because today being Monday, I return to work, which I'm doing so much better. Um, but tell you all of what's been happening. Um, as I had previously mentioned, the flu had been going around the house, and my mom has it. And I really thought I had it, but and it wasn't that bad, not for me anyway. I mean, yes, I was sick. Don't get me wrong, I was sick, but it really wasn't that bad. But this last Tuesday, which I don't know what, I don't know, 14th, 12th or 13th or something like that. I can't remember the date, but anyways, this past Tuesday, I noticed at work that I'd gotten worse, and I knew that feeling. I knew it all too well, because I've had it many times before. And come Wednesday, I ended up, because Wednesday I felt so bad. So Wednesday I went in to see the doctor, and I was going to actually see about seeing my primary, because I just adore her. She actually listens to me, but she was so packed with with customers, with patients. Not just, from my understanding, not just her own, but she was also helping another fellow doctor out. So they couldn't even squeeze me in if they tried. They just couldn't do it. Um, so I went in and I saw a different doctor, which honestly I should have just waited. I should have waited. But anyways, I went and I saw them, because I knew what was coming on. I knew it had all developed into a sinus infection. Um, and when they had got me back to the room, and the doctor and the nurse and they all came in, I was telling them I had been sick. I've been sick since the previous Friday, but I wasn't that bad until that Tuesday. I started getting worse, and I told him that I had a lot of sinus pressure. I feel like it is a sinus infection. I know it's a sinus infection, and that's the reason. Actually, honestly, that's the only reason why I even went in. I wasn't planning on going to see the doctor at all. Well, a long story short, she hounded me. The doctor had hounded me and hounded me and hounded me about doing a COVID and a flu test. And I'm just, when I know what's wrong, I don't see any reason doing all these tests. I don't care if it's COVID. I don't care if it's flu. I don't care what it is. I just know. I just, to me, it's nonsense. It's almost like um, taking an x-ray of someone's leg when they just have a cold. I mean, to me, I know it's not quite that drastic, but to me, it's unnecessary. I feel like it's money wasted, even for the insurance companies. I'm not that kind of person to sit there and do this test, that test. I can't stand a bunch of tests done on me if it's not necessary. Um, so finally, I'm like, okay, fine. Okay, fine. Well, I came back that I tested positive for, you know, not the flu, that other illness going around. But of course, she wanted to sit there and rub it in my face. She wanted to smear it in my face and just cling to that diagnosis. And that's it. There's nothing else that could be wrong with me, yada, yada, yada. And I ended up leaving feeling defeated, to be quite frank. I did. I knew what was wrong with my body. Well, Thursday, I ended up calling back, and that was Wednesday, this past Wednesday. Well, Thursday I ended up calling my doctor's office, and I said, is there any way she can get me in to see me? I said, I am so sick. I am sick, and I need to see her. And they couldn't that Thursday, but they went ahead and did it Friday. And got me in on Friday. Well, Thursday I went to work because I can't afford time off. So I went to work. Wednesday I did not, but Thursday I went to work, and I worked. I almost passed out at work, so I ended up having to leave work early. Um, and So when I went to see the doctor, my primary, Friday, went to my appointment, and I had, okay, let me back it up a little bit. The doctor I saw on Wednesday, there is so many different, to be honest, I don't think anybody truly knows what the heck's going on with this whole virus. But that doctor I saw Wednesday told me, well, if you, since it was my 5th day that Wednesday, that would be the last day I would have to stay in quarantine. And after that, I'd be fine. I'm like, okay, whatever. Well, then I ended up hearing from my doctor said, no, that's not how it goes. How it goes is you need, until you test negative, you have it. And all this, and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. Y'all, please get your stuff straight. Please find out what's truly factual, and let everybody know that I digress on that. I went Friday to my appointment, and the nurse, I was explaining to the nurse, told her everything this other doctor told me. I did tell her that I did test positive. I did tell her that. She knew that. And probably about five minutes into our conversation, she stops and she says, wait a minute. And mind you, by this time, she already checked my blood pressure, which she had to do it manually because the other one was not working correctly. It almost popped my arm off. So she had to do it manually. So, we both were wearing masks. It's not like we were unmasked and sitting there just up in each other's face and breathing on each other. It wasn't nothing like that. We both had our masks on, and yes, the masks were pulled all the way up. I just want to clarify, because I don't want people to be like, well, maybe you were wearing it like this, or maybe you didn't have your mask on correctly. Maybe this was, no. Everything was clear, crystal clear. Every single thing was crystal clear. I had told, like, at least 3 times already, this nurse that I had tested positive Wednesday. As a matter of fact, I told her, I said that's the reason why I don't need another test done. Please don't test me again. I will reject it after all the crap I've already been through. I'm going to reject it. No, I'm going to, I was rejecting it Wednesday, but I got sick and tired of hearing it. She basically, she didn't come right out and say it. The doctor didn't come right out and say it, but basically she was refusing to even treat me until I had the test done. And that just irritated me so much, Anyways, I digress. I move on. I know I keep backing up. I apologize. But this nurse, my primary nurse, she was in the room with me, been in there for at least 5 minutes, been up, checking my blood pressure and everything else manually, doing all this stuff, taking care of all this stuff. I've told her at least 3 times by this time that I had tested positive. Well, she ends up stopping and she's like, wait a minute. You tested negative for flu, right? I said, yes, I tested negative for the flu. She said, hey, you tested positive for... I said, yes, that's what I've been telling you all this time. And she, mind you, I sounded like complete crap. I will be honest. I sound a lot better now, but I sounded horrible. And she said, she literally told me, she said, no, you did not tell me that. I said, ma'am, yes, I did. And she was just like, oh, but well, she ended up running out of the room. So she was, and mind you, this whole time she's backing up away from me and everything, and she beelines out of that room as fast as she could. And honestly, I'll be straight up with y'all. This hurt. This really hurt. I felt like I was a diseased peasant that was not worthy of any medical treatment at all. I felt diseased. I felt almost leprous. I felt leprous. And it hurt. You know, I'd already been treated... I've already been treated bad by one doctor. Now I've got a nurse treating me as if I am leprous and diseased. I'm a peasant, and she's a little queen. It's just how I felt. And my doctor soon came in. Like, it wasn't even, I don't think, a minute after she left the room. My primary comes in. She stands there and she gets this big smile on her face and kind of puts her hand on her hip and says, you mean to tell me you're in here and you tested positive for... And I said, yes. And by this time I was spent, y'all. I was not feeling good. Excuse me. I apologize. I promise it sounds a lot worse than it actually is. But anyways, I ended up telling her. I told her everything. I said, yes, I'm in here after testing positive. Yes. And the reason why I'm in here is because I am sicker than a dog. I said, I have a sinus infection and nobody will listen to me. I ended up basically breaking down on my doctor. I'm going to try not to break down on this video. I broke down and I started crying and I said, nobody will listen to me. They're so focused on the fact that I tested positive that they can't even look at anything else. And they can't even look at me as a human being. My doctor ended up giving me a hug. So that made me feel so much better. She wasn't scared to be around me. And she ended up looking at me and checking me and talking to me. And come to find out, I had a really bad sinus infection and a bad double ear infection. I was sick. It wasn't even the virus. It wasn't even that. Like I told her, I could care less about that. I was actually starting to get better until things started turning that Tuesday. And I'd had the virus before. I've had it, you know. But I just told her, I said, nobody would listen to me. And she said, I will listen to you. And she did. Long story short, she ended up getting me, putting me on antibiotic, and I've been on antibiotics since. She did take me out of work for that Friday through today, through yesterday, which was Sunday. So Monday, today, I can go back to work, which I'm feeling so much better. But yeah, it was a trip. It was definitely a trip. So I had been sick. I'd been sick for a while. But there is flu going around. There's flu going around in my family. My sister-in-law has it. I believe my mom has it. At my brother's work, two of his coworkers has the flu. And my doctor personally had told me that actually the worst thing going on around right now, at least in our area, is the flu. It's influenza B. And she said it was really, really bad. So that's where I've been. Now, I do want to say to those of you who are doctors or nurses, please, please show sympathy to patients. Listen to patients, because patients know their bodies better than anybody else, except for God Almighty. And don't treat them like they're a diseased peasant. Don't do that. Patients go to you because they need medical treatment. And, excuse me. And just because you test positive for that doesn't mean that's all that's going on. Listen to your patients. Listen to your patients. Hear them out and don't dismiss them. I was greatly dismissed and I was looked down upon. And if I hadn't gone back, I'd still be extremely sick. I'd probably end up in the hospital. Then, oh my gosh, if they would sit there and be like, hey, you tested positive, you're still testing positive, that's what's going on, I probably would be dead. I mean, seriously, because they're not listening. Now, I don't know for sure that's what they would have done. I know not every doctor is like that. Not every nurse is like that. As a matter of fact, I talked to a nurse. I spoke to a nurse about this, and she was furious that I was treated like that. Said that there's no way I should have been treated that way. But anyways, I just want to get on here and share with y'all what's going on, kind of give y'all an update. I know y'all been wondering. I am okay, and I am going to get back into making other videos as soon as possible. I got my mess back there still. Oh my goodness, I've got to clean up down here. I just haven't done it yet. But please continue with prayers, and please pray for that nurse and that doctor. I'm not here just intentionally like bash them for what they did. I'm here to shed some light on this situation that, you know, if you're a doctor or a nurse, please listen to the patients. Please. Please. Also have good bedside manner. Have sympathy, have empathy. My primary had just recently gotten over the virus, and she didn't just have the virus. She also had strep throat, bad strep throat, and she'd had her tonsils removed, and she didn't think that was possible, but apparently so. So she just got done going through a round of antibiotics. So she knows how I feel. But she was great. I applaud her. I thank God for her. She's literally a godsend. But yeah, that's what's been going on. Thank you so much for y'all's patience. I want to get back, like I said, get back into making more videos. But I'm not gonna push my body. I'm just gonna go as I feel. I know I need to get back into doing Bible studies and stuff like that, and I want to, but like I said, I'm just taking it one step at a time. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and jump off here. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for y'all's patience. And remember to pray. Prayer is so crucial. And until next time, much love. God bless.